All right, chat, we got an interesting video today. One of my favorite series on YouTube. YouTube's Darkest Videos 7 by Nick Crowley, the GOAT. I love the vibe of the videos, the voice, the sounds in the back, everything. The last one he did on Grandpa. Bro, that was weird, bro. The things people did in that is just too much, bro. And the fact that that guy got so much power, I don't know, bro. That was weird. And then that ending at the end, very crazy twist. Bro, stop calling me, bro. Chat, someone sold my information. My phone has been ringing for the past 3 days. Yo, my phone, bro, I've been getting so many scam calls. It's annoying. Anyways, shout outs to Nick Crowley. Link to the original video down below. Let's check it out.
It's December 4th, 2003.
Whoa.
I'm gonna go try to get them to stop doing that.
A police officer walking in a local park in Arlington, Virginia, is approached by a concerned family, claiming that someone in a nearby neighborhood had been shooting off a flare gun. The officer could hear it too, and following the sound, he eventually found himself at the home of 56-year-old James Yu. The man lived alone in his half of this duplex, and was described by neighbors as a recluse known to exhibit unusual behavior.
Oh.
Across his social media, he made posts claiming that he was the victim of fraud at the hands of all sorts of government agencies, as he had a deep distrust of the US government as well as law enforcement, and he believed that numerous people were attempting to kill him, like his ex-wife, the FBI, and even his neighbors. His posts seemed entirely nonsensical, and so did many of his actions. In the months prior, he had covered up all of his windows with garbage bags and aluminum foil, and he even wrapped his trees in toilet paper. Even though these actions are entirely harmless, on this day, things were becoming far more troubling.
No, that could be strange though.
When police arrived at his home, Yu would be seen firing his flare gun out of his window and into the air, over and over again, and despite repeated attempts to get him to stop.
Arlington County Police! Stop shooting the flares! Mr. Yu!
Oh, he's still doing it. Yo, he probably thinks that, yeah, all those people are out to get him, so he's shooting a flare for like help.
Didn't let up, shooting 41 flares in the span of just 25 minutes.
What?
He did it all with no explanation. In fact, he didn't even say a single word. Understandably, police were eager to get Yu out of his home for questioning, as at this point it wasn't obvious whether or not he was a threat. And so for hours and hours they called out to him, first asking and then demanding that he exit his home.
James, Arlington Police, come to the front door with your hands.
Oh, they're about to get the SWAT team on him.
We have your building surrounded.
But still, there was no response. Growing impatient and worried that Yu might be planning something, the police would eventually bring in a specialized vehicle to bust down the door and spray the inside of the home with gas, all in an attempt to draw Yu outside.
James, stay away from your front door. Stay away from your front door, James.
Yo,
And in response, Yu began firing once again. Only this time, he wasn't using flares.
An actual gun?
And instead, he was now yielding an actual gun.
Oh my!
Thankfully, none of these shots connected, but with the situation becoming increasingly dangerous, the officers decided to fall back, as they carefully came up with a new plan for apprehending Yu. Though whatever they had been planning would never come to fruition.
Wait, what happened? He offed? He's done?
Yeah.
What? Huh? He done blew up the whole house? Yo, I have so many questions. Okay, chat, at the beginning of the video, there was a kid crying. So this kid had nothing to do with any of this. Then this house blows up. It wasn't even, it didn't, all he was being told to do was to stop with the flare guns. Then he was just told to come outside. and bro did not come outside, and he just blew the house up. What led to all this? Bro, Turkey, nothing. But there's something going on with the guy, like mentally. So he thinks like a lot of people are after him. The police, the government, his ex-girlfriend. So then when he actually saw a police unit outside, that's when things just got very, very intense for him.
In a split second, the home was gone, as a massive explosion rang out from inside the house, reducing the entire structure to rubble. Inside the house, Yu had stored 55 gallons of gasoline in his basement, which he saved for that moment to ignite with no warning and no explanation. Based on the footage, it's been theorized that Yu's actions were an attempt to lure police into his home so that he could then set off this explosion and take them all out along with his neighbors, as he genuinely believed that both parties were conspiring to kill him.
Yeah, he did say the police, right? And his neighbors. Yo.
Though somehow, when the smoke cleared, no civilians or police officers had so much as been injured. All that was found in the rubble was the remnants of a single body. Though for a moment, this wasn't the end of James Yu's story.
No.
Before that body could be identified, reports across social media began emerging showing that James Yu was somehow still alive. After the blast, comments were being made on what appeared to be Yu's YouTube channel, where he stated that this whole thing was a cover-up and that he wasn't even inside the home when the standoff started, which looking back, we never actually see him, and we also never hear his voice. Numerous posts pointing out this development would go viral and cause mass confusion about—
Wait, I don't even think it's true. But what if he made some sort of contraption? Look, what if that is just a contraption that he made that reloads the flare and just shoots it out the thing? But yeah, I guess it could also be fake accounts. But then what about the shots coming out the front door? And then how did he time the explosion? He dead as hell, bro. Gotta be.
Him, and we also never hear his voice. Numerous posts pointing out this development would go viral and cause mass confusion about the story, which was only heightened when it was revealed that the body inside that building was in fact James Yu.
Oh.
Though in the end, it wasn't really as mysterious as some originally thought.
Bro.
As it turns out, the post showing these comments failed to realize that this wasn't actually Yu's account, and instead it had a completely different username, with the account likely having been created as nothing more than a hoax. To this day though, there are some that still believe that this was all some sort of massive cover-up. But in reality, it just seems that this was the result of a man gripped by crippling paranoia and loneliness.
That's what
with
it
all
was,
coming
paranoia,
to a head,
not
what has gone on to
schizo.
become one of YouTube's darkest videos.
Yo, what a banger! Yo, Nick! I hate clapping, bro. It reminded me of my girl. Anyways, that was fire. That was a beautiful introduction, bro. You know, RIP to this guy. I don't know. Something's wrong with his mind mentally, but bro, what the heck? What an intro. But like, actually imagine if those cops and SWAT members went inside the house. Exactly. Or like, what if they were just, you know, walking along the outside of the house just to see, looking at the windows, just to see if there's like any emotion or anything, like trying to look for, I guess, some sort of evidence outside. Like, what if they were just posted up waiting for him and then that blew up? Like, wow.
The internet is a dark and disturbing frontier.
Correct.
This year alone, countless people have fallen victim to high-profile data breaches, raising serious concern about personal information security.
I did
Ticketmaster
too!
experienced a breach compromising over 560 million of their customer records.
Nick!
But most alarming of all, the National Public Data announced that they too had suffered a breach,
They
where a
stole
staggering
from me, bro!
2.9 billion records were leaked, potentially impacting every single American.
Nick,
And these
they
leaks
took my
included
phone
critical
number!
personal information, such as full names, addresses, dates of birth, phone numbers, and even social security.
I did hear about that, yep.
If you haven't been taking your online security seriously, then it's time for a change.
Yo, Nick, put me on, bro. Yo, Nick, they took my phone number, bro. Let me show you something, because y'all think I'm lying like shit. Wait, actually, if I show this, y'all might know where I live. Just know that there's a whole bunch of red phone numbers, scam calls, bro, for the past 3 days. Pre-leak? Yeah, exactly. Nah, never mind. I don't want to do that, because some of these scam calls are from places around me. So, yeah. But anyways, yo, they stole my information, bro. Okay, chapter 2. Wait, yo, he started so fire. Dreamspace 2006 footage.
There was really nothing else like it. This obscure 27,000 square foot structure allowed visitors to enter into what must have felt like another dimension.
Call me back,
It was an exhibit
Vash.
called Dreamspace, and was the creation of British artist Maurice Agus, a 74-year-old artistic visionary obsessed with the idea of creating large-scale surreal environments, and this was his magnum opus. The structure was inflatable, akin to a massive bounce house, and once inside, guests were confronted with a labyrinth of brightly colored walls and cells, twisting and turning into some sort of surreal maze
That's cool.
that patrons were told to lose themselves in. This piece of art premiered back in 2004, and due to its inflatability, it was actually built to travel, making stops in major cities in the UK, before it was eventually set up at Riverside Park in Durham on the 22nd of June, 2006. The very next day, 68-year-old Elizabeth Collins would visit the area with her husband and her daughter, as well as her 14-year-old grandson. And spotting this unusual structure in the distance, Elizabeth's grandson insisted on checking it out, excitedly taking off his shoes and running inside. And while the rest of the group was more apprehensive about entering, Elizabeth eventually decided to accompany him, leaving her husband and daughter on the outside, though not before turning back to them and joking that she was going in to find peace and serenity. Outside, Elizabeth's husband and daughter sat at a nearby table and enjoyed a cup of tea whilst conversing about the events of the week, only for the man to turn his head and notice that Dreamspace was slightly moving, to which he excitedly said, "Oh, it's a ride, it's a ride. I wish I had gone on it."
Oh,
The daughter
is it
then
gonna
turned her
deflate?
head to see the structure as it began to rise up off the ground, to which she chillingly responded, "It's not a ride."
Meaning it just got flung around. Oh, it got filled with too much air, maybe? So it... Oh. Oh. Oh my God. Yo, all those bodies in there just flying around like... Too much aluminum. Too much helium or something?
In that moment, Dreamspace had snapped from its moorings and was blown into the air by a massive gust of wind.
Oh.
Agus just so happened to be standing at the entrance as it began to shift,
Oh.
and noticing what was happening, he grabbed on as he desperately tried to hold down his entire life's work, though clearly this was of no use. And after being lifted in the air, his grip failed, sending him falling back to the ground below where he lay staring up at his creation, that was now flying 30 feet above him.
But why the eerie feeling and music? Oh, it was 2006. Maybe they didn't have like an actual thing for this.
Inside, there were as many as 30 people who were now being thrashed around this giant inflatable structure in a
Facts.
scene that I truly can't even imagine. The claustrophobia of it, the dizzying colors, the screams. It's genuinely one of the most horrific scenarios I've ever heard.
And you
the
can't
inflatable structure was airborne for well over a minute, folding into itself before finally crashing back down into a parking lot, leaving behind what was described by witnesses as a field of bodies. Worst of all, the majority of those in attendance were families with small children, with one 7-year-old girl recounting her experience, saying, "It was very scary and people were screaming. I saw a lady clinging on and then falling out, and then she was lying on her back with people around her.
Oh.
I think she died."
Oh.
This lady was most likely 68-year-old Elizabeth Collins, who had been ejected from the structure when it was in the air, with her injuries being catastrophic and unsurvivable.
Oh my God. Yeah, I was
Of
gonna
all
say
the
there's
others now
not enough.
sprawled throughout this field of grass,
You can't hold
most
on
were
to
left
anything.
injured, but thankfully not in serious condition. Though this wasn't the case for 38-year-old Claire Vermege, who'd been inside during the accident with her 2 children. And despite her kids surviving, she was sadly not so lucky.
What?
With Claire and Elizabeth being the sole fatalities of the incident.
What?
The video is terrifying. And though it's easy to say that this could have been so much worse, considering how many people were in Dreamspace at the time, the consequences were still catastrophic, as it devastated 2 families, and likely left many others at the scene traumatized for life, especially the young children. But how could this have happened? Well, that day was particularly warm, which likely caused the air inside the structure to expand, causing a hot air balloon-like effect, which was then exacerbated by sudden strong gusts of wind, which eventually caused the structure to go airborne, as in the end, it just wasn't properly secured for the conditions. Soon after the incident, Maurice Agus was arrested for manslaughter, though he would ultimately only end up paying a small fine, as he vowed to never create a large work again. Just a few years later in 2009, Maurice Agus would pass away, with his legacy forever being defined by this devastating footage.
Yeah. Damn. Vash don't understand none of this? Bro, 6, I am a man of science. Like, I am aware of what he was saying. Honestly, I thought it was helium, but then once he explained that, you know, the air got warm and, you know, air goes up when it's warm, so it gave that hot air balloon effect. So then, you know, it just took that little gust of wind to go shoot, and then boom. He was charged with manslaughter for what? Yeah, I think it's one of those things that you could say it wasn't his fault. It was just an accident for sure. But I guess, you know, some people wanted justice, or it's his creation, so he has to take accountability and responsibility for what happened. So I'm not sure. And then there's also that not properly securing it. But if there was people in it, how the hell did wind move it that much? Well, it took a lot of air to get it, you know, inflated, to get it to where it's supposed to be. So too much of that air getting hot, I guess, you know, doesn't matter. It had enough strength to pick it up. And then also that gust of wind, that must have been strong. You're not a detective? Bro, they call me Batman in the streets, bro. Stop playing with me. RP to that lady, though. The Elaine Campione tape.
On October 2nd, 2006, police entered the home of 31-year-old Elaine Campione, where inside they found the woman speaking incoherently.
Campione.
Next to her was a VHS camera, depicting a series of disturbing events that had transpired within the home over the previous months and days.
Huh?
With the footage eventually finding its way onto YouTube.
Huh? Oh no, VHS stuff. No.
Hi Serena, it's August 8th, 2006. Happy birthday to you.
Chad, you know what made those movies, the Paranormal Activity movies, what made them so like eerie and interesting and like made you want to keep watching? It wasn't even the movie itself. It was how it was filmed, like the VHS vibe, security camera footage type of vibe that it had to it. The quality, exactly. Other than that, Paranormal Activity, not much happened. But going off that, this gives that same feeling. Like, this makes it creepy. The audio quality, the quality of the camera, it being VHS quality, it always gives off like a horror movie, like some sort of demonic entity or something, bruh.
Happy birthday to you.
The tape starts with Elaine pointing her new camera at her daughter Serena. It was her 3rd birthday, and to celebrate, Elaine had left a brand new bike in the living room.
Oh my god, what is that? Yeah!
Days later, the footage continues, showing Serena once again as Elaine asks,
How does Mama love you?
This much.
Oh, I love you more than that. How much does Mama love you?
Elaine then shows her other daughter Sophia, who was just a baby, before turning the camera on herself and showing the kids how the device worked.
Hi! See how the camcorder works?
I'm looking at the background, chat. Make sure there's no ghosts.
Hi! Is that Mommy? Hi!
So far, the footage seems like nothing more than your standard family home videotape, and appears completely wholesome. Though with the next recording, the tone begins to shift, and things start to become slightly concerning.
This is a deplorable, horrible, messy, filthy apartment that supposedly my 2 children and I live in, and it's just a horrible, horrible mess. Yeah. I think Diego Campione is totally in the wrong, and I hope he burns in hell for all his sins, the same as Leonardo.
As Elaine shows the camera her home, she begins joking about how they are living in deplorable conditions, before randomly calling out 2 men who she says she hopes burn in hell, all while her children are in the same room. She starts to grow more and more agitated.
All I wanted to do was take care of my 2 little girls and live happily ever after the 3 years of physical, emotional, and mental abuse that I endured tremendously by Leonardo Campione, and then the past year from Anna and Diego Campione, the mental and emotional abuse.
Outright saying that she was abused by a man named Leonard Campione, who happened to be her ex-husband and the father of these children. And she goes on from there, with each moment clearly making the kids more and more anxious.
And I want justice to my family for what they have all done to us. I cried out for help. They should have charged him for the assaults he did to me.
Eventually causing Elaine to snap out of it and stop the camera.
And my poor 3-year-old, I did everything to protect. And what are you saying, Sophia? What do you want?
The video then skips forward once more, with this footage being taken just days before the police were called, showing Serena coloring on the floor as Elaine asks,
Who loves ya?
Mommy.
Who loves you the most?
This
Not
much.
much. Oh, I think I love you more than that.
The scene that unfolds next was recorded on that very same night, just hours later.
Oh my God, please. Please tell me the kids are okay. Please tell me that woman's okay.
Recording this because Leo and I are very happy. Everything's gone. You wouldn't give peace. You wouldn't tell the truth. You didn't care about our babies. You didn't care about me. You cared about yourself. All you did was hurt us.
Abuse
In the
from
video,
the
Elaine
dad.
states that everything is gone, as she speaks to Leo directly, accusing him of having ruined their lives with his constant abuse.
You are truly the devil.
Man.
I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate
You know what
you.
hurts the most, chat, is that she's constantly bringing up her kids and, you know, talking to them, just having a very wholesome moment. And that sucks because all she wants to do is be a mother. Like, that shit is so amazing. Like, she just wants to be a mother and raise her kids. Yet you have this person, I guess, taking that away from her or affecting her so much to the point where she has to like break down and all that. I mean, obviously abusing her and shit like that, but yeah.
But I want you to know how much I hate you.
Disturbingly, the children were nowhere to be seen in this footage.
He took the
Elaine
kids!
eventually addressing them by saying,
God believes me, and God's taking care of them now. You're protected by God, thank God, and thank Him. Because there's no way I could have them with you. Nothing's good enough for you. It has to always be your way. Well, they're good. And you can have it your way. Your wife and your daughters are dead now. We're all in heaven.
according to Elaine, not only were her children gone, but she was too. She stops the recording soon after. Despite saying this, the camera would actually start up one more time, where Elaine describes how she was still alive, despite having attempted to OD, which prompted her to call the police.
But what about the kids?
When officers arrived at the home, both Serena and Sophia were found laying in her mother's bed, holding hands, and wrapped tightly in rosaries. Neither of them were alive. 2 nights prior, and directly before filming this message, Elaine had brought them both into the bathroom, as it was time for their nightly baths. And once in the tub, she told them to play a game, one where they would place their heads beneath the water and blow out bubbles. When they did this, Elaine held their heads down, and she didn't let go until she was certain they were gone. This footage is some of the most disturbing that I've ever seen, as we get a glimpse into Elaine's descent into madness, in the moments directly before—
Bro, we need to find out what that man did. What did that Luigi man Campione got? Whoa, what is that? What did that other guy Diego, what did he do? He drove them to her. He drove her to this point, bro. No, this is sick. This is some sick stuff, bro.
Before she stole her children's lives. But all of this leaves one obvious question. Why? Well, it was noted during her investigation that the abuse she alleged from her ex-husband Leo seemed to be very real and well documented over the years, leading to Leo not being able to see his children for over a year, with this causing the two to separate, which is when Elaine's mind began to deteriorate. She began believing that people were following her and were going to kill her, with this fear of people eventually shifting to a fear of aliens, as she claimed to have seen them on numerous occasions, believing they were following her. Because of this fear, she refused to let her children out of her sight, not even allowing her own parents to look after them, causing her to become so attached to these children that she genuinely began to believe that they were all one entity, which made things incredibly concerning when she became suicidal and eventually attempted to take her own life.
Oh my god.
Despite Leo's more
bro.
than troubled history, he had supposedly turned his life around in the years leading to this footage, and was eventually allowed to start visiting the children on a limited capacity. And seeing the children and seeing the way their mother was behaving, he began to grow incredibly concerned, and eventually attempted to gain full custody. And it was this bitter custody battle that seemed to be the ultimate factor that led to Elaine ending the lives of her children.
God's taking care of them.
Oh my.
You're protected by God, thank God. Thank
I don't even know how to feel anymore, bro. I'm hurt. So it's the mother's fault? What do you mean aliens were following you? What do you mean people were following you? And Diego, you bum. You abused her to the point of insanity? Like, she just went insane and then grew so attached to her kids that, like, she believed they were one entity and now they're protected by God and loved by God, and then that happened. Oh my God, man. I can't take it anymore. No, bro. I can understand her point of view, but it's mostly Diego's. Yeah, low-key, like, back here, I was like, damn, like, it's Diego's fault. He drove her to this point, and you know, her taking, I thought that she was gonna take the kid's life away and her life away, and then I was gonna be like, damn, like, you know, maybe they are in a better place now. Like, this Diego guy really is the devil? Like, I don't know. But then now it's like, damn, Shorty was kind of insane. So like, Diego apparently was in a better place, so he wanted custody. And I was like, bro, what is happening? Like,
No, because there's no way I could have them with you.
Elaine Campione would be charged with 2 counts of murder and would eventually be sentenced to life in prison,
Oh
with a
my.
possibility of parole after 25 years.
Oh my.
Today, she's held in a minimum security prison, where she's free to leave once every weekend to attend church and other functions.
Oh my God, bro. There's a lot more information on this case that I had to cut due to the time constraints. I'll link some deep dive videos below for those wanting more context. No, it's okay. Oh, you talk about this next one coming up? Okay, never mind. No, she didn't offer herself. Oh my God.
On April 18th, 2010, a 39-year-old man named Gavin Collins was released from the HMP Rampage prison in the UK. His freedom would last less than 24 hours,
Oh my.
as the very next day he suffered a severe mental breakdown, the result of which was captured partially across several video recordings that later appeared on YouTube. This is the story of his rampage.
How did you get this picture? What was this recorded on? A damn Motorola Razr? Yo, chat. This looks absolutely insane. No, this is a very disturbing picture.
It began at approximately 9 a.m. in the city of Nottinghamshire.
What was he
when Gavin
recording
left his
himself
home.
on?
As he walked down the sidewalk, those in the area reported him acting strangely, muttering to himself that he was Jesus and that he was invincible. Without warning, he then turned his attention to a random home, which he forcefully entered, stole a man's car keys, and took his vehicle,
Oh, okay.
taking off with
Yo,
no
listen. At least, oh my God, bro. Okay, at least it was just a car, I guess.
apparent destination. Inside the car, the owner just so happened to have 2 cameras, one being a standard dash cam and the other facing inside the vehicle, giving us a look at Gavin and his apparent mental state.
Yo, he is not okay. That guy is not okay. Why would they release him looking like that?
This is me. Jesus Christ! I'll shut you up with the eyesight I've got. Hey, I don't need this. Come on, let's go, bro. So, get rid of all the crap pairs. Let's go! Let's go!
Just at a glance, it's obvious that Gavin is completely unhinged. For some reason, he was utterly filled with rage, ripping off the rearview mirror and yelling obscenities
Damn!
and incomprehensible threats at no one in particular.
I'm enraged! I'm Jesus! I'm descendant of God! And you lock me up! Watch this! You
Oh,
And most
no.
concerning of all is the speed in which he's traveling,
He's going
as he starts driving faster and
fast.
faster, swerving in and out of cars as he passes through busy residential areas.
Yo, please don't run into nobody, bro. Please don't tell me you ran over a crowd or something, bro. Please, bro!
As he reaches speeds that have been estimated to be anywhere from 85 miles an hour to well over 120.
That could do damage.
now! I'm getting stronger and stronger by the second! Woohoo!
But somehow, despite countless close calls, every time he avoids collision. At least for the time being.
It looked like he swerved right there, though. He said, woo woo! Oh my God. How? Oh my.
In an instant, Gavin smashes the vehicle into a brick home at full speed, with the impact being devastating. And yet somehow, through the destruction, Gavin was not only still alive, but completely unharmed,
And he
and
walked
also
out.
completely unfazed. He pulled himself from the wreckage and immediately turned his attention to a woman driving nearby.
No.
And within moments, he had forced his way into the vehicle,
No.
and was behind the wheel once again,
What?
continuing this deranged driving spree, until once again, he crashed. And much like the initial collision, he survived, walking away unscathed before turning his attention to another random home.
No.
In pursuit of stealing his third vehicle, he grabbed a nearby concrete slab and began to smash through the home's doors, bloodying his hand in the process, before eventually making entry.
No.
Inside were a mother and her 2 children,
No!
one of which was 5 years old,
No!
and the other wasn't even a year.
No!
Gavin approached the
Why, bro? Why is it the mothers? Why is it the children? Not that it should be the guys or like, why should it have to be anybody? Oh my God, this is so crazy, bro. This is so crazy, bro. No, this is sad. This is sad because, bro, chat, I'm picturing like, let's say my girlfriend or my mom, like they're home. They're just home watching TV. And some crazy, insane person just runs in the house. And like, who knows what's gonna, oh my God.
The terrified family yelling and demanding that the mother give up her car keys, telling her that he was Jesus and that, because I am Jesus, I will kill you if you don't give me the keys.
Give him the keys,
Without
please.
hesitation, she did as he said.
Thank you.
Gavin then went to each member of the family, and with his injured hand, he drew crosses on their forehead, out of his own blood, before taking off with his third stolen car.
Oh, okay, we're good. We're good so far, we're good. He can't drive manual? Oh my!
Once again, Gavin was driving manically, though this time he was even more reckless, crashing into a brick wall and then a cop car.
Oh my!
Before setting his sights on a pedestrian.
No!
While speeding through a neighborhood, Gavin would see a man standing innocently near a bus stop, and for whatever reason, the sight of this man enraged him, causing Gavin to slam on the brakes and reverse the vehicle, stepping on the gas as hard as he could, and crashing directly into him, leaving him lying there with devastating injuries. Gavin quickly exited the vehicle and found the man lying motionless on the ground, prompting him to shout, "I've killed him. I've killed the devil." Minutes later, Gavin would crash yet another car into yet another home.
What happened
Though
to
this
the
time,
police?
the police weren't far behind.
Oh, maybe that video wasn't... Wait, what? Whose camera is this? Oh, this is police.
This way. I'll get him out. I'll get him out.
Oh no!
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Do not move! Get it up! Get it down!
Finally bringing his disturbed driving spree to an end.
What?
The man that Gavin had struck was 87-year-old Terry Radford, a retired teacher whose injuries were catastrophic, with the man passing away soon after.
Oh my-
According to his family, Terry was an incredible grandfather, father, and son. The footage is genuinely horrifying, but what's most shocking of all is the fact that any of this was even allowed to happen. As
That's
stated
what I'm
previously,
saying!
this was
How, bro, how, bro? Yo, the first crash was insane. He just walked out of that, got behind another car, crashed again, then stole the third car from someone's house, was crashing into the police officer, which I don't know how he didn't even stop him on time. Oh my God. And then the guy at the bus stop. Bro, there's so much
Gavin's
going on.
very first day out of prison.
Within a
And
day.
based on the
Facts. He just said it. First day out of prison. Why did they allow him out? He must have been bugging on his way out, right? Like they should have identified or seen something like, yo, bro, something's not okay with him, bro.
been allowed to
Something's wrong with
happen.
him.
As stated previously, this was Gavin's very first day out of prison, and based on the behavior he exhibited whilst in prison, he really should have never been released.
Exactly.
Gavin was granted an early release in March of 2019 for charges based around burglary, but just as he was set to be freed, it was discovered that he had submitted an adulterated drug test, which caused his case to be re-examined and resulted in his release being postponed. In response, Gavin lost his mind. Later that month, he assaulted a prison guard before spraying him with an unknown liquid that contained bleach, before proceeding to set his cell on fire and attacking another officer with a piece of wood. Due to his actions, Gavin was placed into an isolated cell, where less than a week later, he started yet another fire, and when an officer entered his cell to put it out, Gavin struck them in the head and pulled out a plastic knife, threatening to slash him, stating that it would be a thrill to kill him. Gavin's stay in prison clearly hadn't rehabilitated him. In fact, it seemed to have made him more violent than ever before.
Definitely.
And more mentally disturbed. Though shockingly, despite all of these additional crimes, Collins' release would go on to be approved less than 2 weeks later. with Gavin being
He needs to be put in the Arkham Asylum. Facts, bro. Forget about the cell. Put him in a mental institution. No. He needs to be in the Arkham Asylum, bro. Oh my God. How did that get approved?
being set free on April 18th, and within just 24 hours, Terry Radford would be brutally killed. Gavin was sentenced to 21 years in prison, and during his trial it was revealed that no drugs were found in his system, and instead this all seemed to be the result of some sort of psychotic episode. that just so happened to be captured on camera in one of YouTube's darkest videos.
It's on YouTube. Yo, chat. Chat, listen to me right now. Bro. These videos and the way he commentates them, the music makes him feel eerie and everything. He does such a good job at making you feel uncomfortable, at making you feel disturbed. I don't even know how to carry on my life after this, bro. That's crazy. How did he just break into 3 houses, crash 3 times, and there weren't any cops in sight? I just don't understand how he walked away from each crash. Chat, look at the first crash, bro. Look at the first crash. How do you walk away from this? Boom. He went into a house. I want to know the judge. Bro, I'm about to tweak out, bro. That I actually genuinely feel disturbed. And the thing is, even look how he looks. The way he looks makes it worse. Cause why is he built like that? He doesn't look mentally stable. He don't look right, bro. I'm about to, yo, Nick Crowley, you popped off with this one, bro. You. That was a crazy video.